There are a ton of other cryptocurrencies. Hey there, my name's Kenner French. I'm with vastsolutionsgroup.com. We do tax finance and artificial intelligence. One of our specialties is cryptocurrencies and taxes investments of various different cryptocurrencies. It's everyone has heard of Bitcoin. Even if you fully don't understand it, there are numerous other cryptocurrencies besides Bitcoin. And this came up really not too long ago. My son just started investing in Bitcoin, and he's had a huge run up in profit, and he wanted to take some off the table, and he's like, well, where do I put it? I said, well, there's other types of cryptocurrencies, and he was blown away. So anyway, there are seemingly hundreds of cryptocurrencies. Soon there's going to be thousands, I'm sure. And most were released in the last couple of years. CoinMarketCap.com lists 100 different cryptocurrencies that are kind of, let's call them, let's say, mainstream. Many experts believe the numbers will continue to climb. And by the way, in fact, with creator coins now available, the space could increase, who knows, maybe into the hundreds of thousands soon. Bitcoin has a considerable head start on the other offerings, though. Several cryptocurrencies are slight variations on Bitcoin, that platform, but they may be more attractive to conventional financial institutions. And when that happens, who knows, maybe cryptocurrencies will really go mainstream, if you will. The first cryptocurrency to be really truly welcomed by the banking industry, truly welcomed by the banking industry, will dominate the market. Who knows what that one's going to be? But anyway, currently let's just say there's 5 top kind of quote main cryptocurrencies after Bitcoin. Let's go over those. Ripple, R-I-P-P-L-E. Ripple has a market cap of roughly 150 million. For comparative purposes, Bitcoin has, let's say 5 billion. It goes up and down. This cryptocurrency was released in 2012 and has been making strong inroads into the banking industry and payment networks. It's kind of a Bitcoin bridge, if you will. It permits Ripple currency holders to make payments to Bitcoin users without ever truly holding Bitcoin itself. Some financial experts have been stating that Ripple could be the new Bitcoin. Who knows if that's going to be the case, at least right now. If I knew, we'd be billionaires, right? Litecoin, L-I-T-E-C-O-I-N. Litecoin is the third largest crypto with a market cap of about 137 million. Charles Lee, a former Google employee, released Litecoin in 2011. This crypto is very similar to Bitcoin. It offers, several enhancements when compared to Bitcoin, including a little bit higher of a limit on the maximum number of coins, which, a little bit more of an improved interface, I'd say, and then faster transaction approvals, which, you'd think, wow, Bitcoin happens so fast. Can it happen even faster? And the answer to that is yes with Litecoin. Several exchanges do permit transactions of Litecoin with Bitcoin users in various different conventional currencies, including U.S. fiat dollars, euros, and the yuan, which is from China. Okay, and then Ethereum, or ETH as sometimes they call it. That market is about half the size of Litecoin, although it's growing very fast, I'd say. It's kind of a challenge to understand even for experts and sometimes, but it combines blockchain technology of Bitcoin with a really technical programming language. The platform permits the construction of new applications to be developed, so it's it could do snap-ons, if you will, to Ethereum. Dash. Now, this one's interesting. It was started a little bit later than the others, 2014, as Xcoin. The letter X, C-O-I-N. You may have heard of Xcoin or maybe even Darkcoin before they were rebranded to the name Dash. Dash is roughly 1/10 the size of Litecoin, of about the maximum number 14 million. There are currently 6 million Dash coins in circulation. Dash transactions are arguably more private than those of the other ones that I've already mentioned. Inputs from multiple users are needed to complete a transaction, which is kind of duplicative, but it sometimes makes sense as a result. Multiple identical outputs are also generated. These are identical inputs, and outputs shield the location and identity of the true parties that are in the transaction. Dogecoin. And that's Dogecoin. It has approximately the same market cap as Dash. However, Dash currently, as I mentioned, has 6 million coins in circulation compared to the 102 billion coins of Dogecoin. This cryptocurrency, it started off as a joke, and it's quickly developed and has a real loyal following. Coins are produced very quickly and have very little value, roughly, 0.0001 per coin. So it's very small, very small. It's the very opposite of Bitcoin, if you will. Dogecoin community has been actively involved in fundraising for interesting causes. The Jamaican bobsled team, NASCAR drivers, and even building wells in Kenya. It's pretty nice. So, several online exchanges exist to service those that wish to use Dogecoin. Now, and that's noteworthy, by the way. The crypto technology employed is truly it's similar to that of Bitcoin and Litecoin, and it utilizes a private and public key system, which is pretty unique. There are no limits on the number of Dogecoins that can be produced. More than 5 billion coins are expected to be produced in a single year. Really, in every year going forward, too, I should say. There's more going on in the cryptocurrency world than just Bitcoin. Hopefully, this has suggested that. However, Bitcoin's the oldest, started in 2009, really in 2008, and it got popular in 2009, if you will. Some would state it's not even still popular. Bitcoin is, again, the oldest and most well-known cryptocurrency in existence. The current Bitcoin circulation is worth more than really all the other cryptocurrencies combined. But again, that might change, obviously. You might be asking, why am I talking about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space? We at VastSolutionsGroup.com, we're keeping a diligent eye on the space, because it's for one, we're the first third-party administrator to allow cryptocurrencies in our 401ks, which is huge, and also profit-sharing plans, defined benefit plans. And then also, I think as a wealth creation tool, I think we really believe cryptocurrency is truly it should be at least looked at in every potential portfolio. Maybe not one of the more conservative portfolios, but it definitely should be looked at in general. We're going to continue to keep an eye. Really, I would say you should as well, because cryptocurrency probably going to be here to stay. Who knows what form it's going to be down the road, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Once again, my name is Kenneth Frenchman, executive at VastSolutionsGroup.com. I'm the CIO of Vast Holdings Group, and I also have another book here coming out, and I have a number of different briefs on cryptocurrencies, white paper on cryptocurrencies, and educational material on cryptocurrencies. If you're interested, please go ahead and check us out, VastSolutionsGroup.com. Again, VastSolutionsGroup.com. Once again, thanks for taking the time to listen.